here we are. Like I said, I made some questions in response to your interview yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not response. It's just it's I guess it's my version of an interview. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I probably forgot some of the better questions that you put on, and that's my fault. But I have some of my own. Hopefully they don't bother you, you know. Um, but here we go. Okay.
Okay.
What made you want to start streaming?
Ah, interesting question. What do I pick up streaming? Well, it was always an option. I mean, my life was and is kind of stagnant because of clinical depression. I'm not really doing anything with my life. And I thought I'm already playing video games. I have all the time in the world. So why not try my hand at streaming? I've tried being a YouTuber and I failed. So I thought streaming may be one option that is left to me. I guess that's it. Not a very exotic reason, not a very exciting one, but there you go.
Well, I mean, I understand. Like, I think that the more interviews you have the opportunity to do, the more you'll probably be humbled to the idea that not all of us are just random successful people that decide to get behind a computer and exude more success. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
like, there might be more stories similar to yours, so you won't ever have to feel like that after you do it for a amount of time. Um, if you could do anything with whatever authority you gained from streaming, what would it be?
Mm, I'm not sure. What would you do? Give me an example. I'm just curious.
Um, like for example, if you had enough people to listen to you and to kind of not question your morals or ideas, like
Mm-hmm.
so for example, if you had an idea of advocacy, if you thought that maybe all people should be respected and you should treat everyone the same way and stuff like that, like kind of like that kind of stuff, authority, you know what I mean? Where it's like you're gonna listen to what I have to say, so I could say things that people have been saying for decades, but because I'm me and because I'm popular, now you see more validity in what I've been saying, despite it not being something so profound at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, having authority, that's. I never thought about it. I guess at first I would use it for something really small, like going and raiding other people's streams. If I had a lot of people with me, I'd just want to support other streamers, just show some love. But
There's
other
nothing
than
wrong with
that,
that.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Haven't really thought about it.
What do you like the most about streaming and the least?
Well, if the game I'm playing is enjoyable, then the 12 hours I stream can go very fast, and that's good. It gives me something to do, it gives me discipline, and it gives me a schedule. So I like that. It makes me productive. What I like least about streaming. I mean, I thought that I would be bothered by not having a lot of viewers, but it seems I don't. I have gotten over it. Even now, I have like one viewer, which is me, and I think that that's fine. What do I like least about streaming?
Me? I think it's that I'm kind of like, sensitive to try to see like what you get from doing what. You know what I mean? Like I know that some people get more attention than I do for the same thing or less, and that bothers me. But
Hmm.
also, like I know that there's a lot of platforms like remember that list I gave you
Yeah.
about support. And usually I guess I will have to concede that I am somewhat of a hate clicker, where I will see somebody doing better than me, and I'll click to see, hey, what's going on? And I'll click and I'll see that despite the fact that they have 10, 12 viewers, three people are talking. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And then I'll be like, oh, okay, then I know that you have the lurker support. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I said, I really don't have too much of an affinity for liquor support. Like it's cool, but again, like I said, for me, I don't need 3 or 4 viewers average anymore. I need 75.
Mm.
So it's like fuck, it's ways away. It's the shit's in the clouds. So it's like it doesn't bother me that much. But like I'm trying to tell, like I told you before, for me, people who talk add value to the stream. You know what I mean? When I'm
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube, there's nobody on YouTube trying to, and if they are, they either come and go. Where it's like they care more about the little number next to how many people are watching me on Twitch rather than the type of content that I offer them by, you know, supplementing the gameplay with useful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like I said, that's kind of it's kind of in and out, and my values are different because I'm literally everywhere at the same time. Um, hey, phone, there you go. Go to sleep, stupid. All right. What would you change about streaming if you can?
I guess I would change how many viewers the low tier streamers get. Uh, I feel it's kind of sad that a lot of streamers stream to an audience of zero or just one viewer. And I think they're lonely and maybe depressed because of it. I would change that. I would make Twitch recommend smaller streamers to people.
Twitch does have a category for that. It's lower than the boobs, and then yeah. So like yes, it does need to be better. And actually, I have a question for that. Like probably like 30 something questions down, but hopefully we can revisit it, and hopefully I added more to the question so that we can elaborate on that further. Um, if you could tell anyone who doesn't stream about streaming, what would it be?
What would I tell anyone about streaming? Well, first of all, I would tell them to really think about it, whether they want to do it, because it's not as easy as people may think. So think twice before starting streaming. Think of it that it will probably fail. It may seem like an attractive option to some, but that's just on the outside. Or
A little bit. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead, finish. I didn't think you was finished. Sorry.
do you mean like what would they tell the viewers of streaming?
Yeah, yeah. Like if you can tell someone who's not streaming, what would you tell them? Like someone who doesn't stream, what would you tell them about streaming? Like, for example, sometimes people would talk about how, streaming is hard and stuff. Because, sometimes you'll look at a streamer and you'll be like, look, this dude can just turn his game on, pog face at the camera, and now he has hundreds of people watching him. You know what I
Mm.
mean? But like I said, what could you say to someone who was kind of like on the outside looking in?
Mm. Mm. I have to think on that.
Okay. If you ever have an answer about it, feel free to chime in. It doesn't matter. Um, I want to chime in on something you said too about how like thinking about streaming and it's harder than it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do agree. It's I think though for me, one of my best experiences is failing. Okay? You lose a lot, okay? And you kind of have to learn to lose. You know what I mean? And I think that's why my thought process is a little bit different from everyone else's because when I lose, I look for different things. I try to understand why I lost. I try to understand how other people are winning
Mm-hmm.
what constitutes as winning, what factors into someone looking like they won versus someone looking like they've lost, so that I can kind of isolate the problem as well as, isolate that downing feeling of failure. You know what I mean? Because it's like sometimes when people think about failures, it's absolute. You know what I mean? You failed. And it's not you failed because you didn't keep trying, you failed because you didn't think anything further, or you failed because you let things get into your head. Like for example, like I told you before about looking into another stream that has a lot of viewers. Like I kind of do that kind of investigation to make sure that I understand what kind of success the other person has, and if that success is, I guess, applicable to me. Is that something that I want? And for me, like I said, it's not. So it doesn't really feel as bad because it's like I could probably do what they do, not legitimately, not legitimately, but still, I could do what they do on paper, and my chat will probably look the same as theirs too. Give or
Mm-hmm.
take the Pokemon bot, since I turned that off, since so many people would come in here and catch Pokemon. And I would look down at the chat to see what to respond to, and it's literally just Pokecatch. Um, but like I said, if you guys are trying, like I said yesterday, um, knowing that it doesn't work is better than wondering if it'll work, in my opinion. If you have different opinions, you might not have to investigate on your curiosities. Okay. What are some things you wish to accomplish from streaming?
First of all, I want to have a small and supportive community. Just a group of people I could call friends or my supporters, and maybe have like 10 concurrent viewers at all times. That would be really an achievement for me. Just to have that small following of people who watching what I do, maybe typing something in chat. Yeah, just having a community of my own.
Absolutely understandable. What are some of the obstacles you face as a streamer?
Well, I guess one of the advices I heard about streaming is that you have to be either charismatic or entertaining, and I'm well, I don't think I'm not either of those things. But as you said to me, that I have a chill vibe, and maybe that will work for me. So now I'm actually optimistic and
Well,
encouraged.
I think you should be optimistic nonetheless. I do think that it's very hard for people to kind of have a convicted idea about whether or not they have charisma until you have people in your chat to test that. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, when you finally have people in your chat to talk to you and people you can interact with, you'll be able to know for sure whether or not you can entertain them. Okay?
Mm.
So it really shouldn't be in your mind whether or not you can do it until you have the opportunity to. Because, like, I know for me, I really haven't had the opportunity to entertain a lot of people in chat until I play games like Among Us.
Mm-hmm.
And until I can tell jokes and stuff like that to people who are there and who actually want to contribute in chat and in game, you know? What is the most important thing to you about maintaining a community?
I guess I want the community to be wholesome. I don't want just any people, any followers, but I want them to be good, kind people and show this kindness to others. I don't want a toxic community, even if it means a large one, even if it means that I would be doing this as a successful career. I would prefer to have a smaller community, but the one that is decent.
I agree with that more than you understand. All
Hmm.
right, I definitely do. All right. If you could choose a place to communicate with your community, where would it be and why?
A place you mean on the internet or in the real world?
preferably on the internet. If you have someone in the real world, then feel free to share that too. That would be cool.
Hmm. Well, I'm still very new to this, even new to Discord, so I'm not sure which is better. Maybe Discord. Have my own server, have moderators, have people in voice chat and text chat. But really, it's I guess not every viewer goes to Discord automatically. Some people just lurk on Twitch. So
Mm,
maybe I would also want to be on Twitch, have my moderators there, and have my supportive community there. I guess it's between those two places, Twitch and Discord.
there. I know for me, I agree with you in terms of especially with Discord, in terms of like, keeping an intimate community. But I think that for me, I would probably want to have my community in somewhere like Reddit or Twitter. And I
Hmm.
really don't like Twitter that much because of the short form responses that you can have.
Mm-hmm.
So like when people have fleshed out thoughts and ideas and criticisms, they can't share it as well. But on a platform like what you call it, Reddit, they can have very long like what you call it, very long posts. They could share images, they can share videos, people can chime in. The conversation lasts, I think they auto archive posts after like 6 months or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you have a long conversation and you have a group and community that can vote on the things that they like and dislike because Reddit has a dislike bar, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like you can have a very very articulate idea of what you or what your community wants from you. You know what I mean? And what the community thinks about your ideas. You know what I'm saying? So you can put an idea up and then now you see that shit has 500 downvotes. You're like, all right, bro. All right, I'm not gonna do it. You know? So now listen, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just sharing opinions. Okay?
It's good to have those opinions because I'm a newbie. I'm not very experienced in any of it, so that's good.
Yeah. I mean, listen. All right. I remember I told you I got banned from Reddit. I didn't do anything, but still I got banned from Reddit, and I still feel like Reddit's a decent platform. So it's
Mm.
like that tells you more than enough. Um, what questions would you prefer to ask a highly successful streamer if you could, and what wisdom could they share with you that you feel others cannot?
Mm. I guess I would ask them. Well, the most important thing to me would be the secret to their success. I would want them to share this secret with other smaller streamers so that maybe smaller streamers can replicate, can get some advice from it, some real practical advice.
True, true. This isn't a question, but how would you feel about it if someone told you that they just knew the right people and they got lucky?
I mean, that's life. That's how life works, even in the real world. We're getting a job and stuff like that, where that's the objective. It's all about the people you know. So I'm quite content with it. I have accepted it.
Okay. If you could stream whatever games you wanted and still gain the same viewership and following, would you play multiple games, a few, or just one?
Mm. I guess a few, and I would choose the games that I enjoy most. I would try new games. I would see what my friends recommend. Maybe some multiplayer games for me to play around with my friends. Yeah, definitely more than one game.
Okay. Which is more important to you from viewers? Lurking, chatting, subbing, or donating?
Hmm. like I said, I'm still new to this. I mean, even when you first chatted me in text chat, I was like a bit shocked that somebody is chatting to me. I was like, oh my god, what do I do? There is a real person in there. So I am still trying to figure things out. But I guess lurkers are fine. If I see the viewer count on my stream is more than one, then I know someone is watching, and that's fine. They don't have to talk to me. They don't have to chat. And if they do chat, I have to respond, which I don't mind. But I guess maybe lurkers are my favorite.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's probably odd, but yeah.
Listen. We can all have different opinions. If it was no inconvenience to you, what types of alerts would you aspire to make for your community?
Alerts. Like, do.
Like sound effects, green screens, like special effects, stuff like that, trigger alerts, stuff like that, you know?
Oh, that's a good question. I haven't really thought about it. But uh, what is your opinion on alerts? Are they needed at all?
No. Now they're cool, but the thing is that usually in my opinion, it's kind of it's kind of split, okay? There are some people who will come in, follow you, and cash out their 300 points on alerts and then leave because they don't have anything else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're literally there for the extent purpose to make noise and disturb you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the regular that kind of shows everyone that the alerts exist. Okay, you know, the person that has like a million points and periodically they'll put a relevant sound alert on while you're playing
Mm-hmm.
and kind of inform everyone around you that those alerts exist. Um, Now, I haven't really had anybody in here um, extend the necessity of them, but you know, for example, there's an alert that one another streamer had. It's called Walk On, where as soon as you come in the chat, the I guess the browser alert will play a specific sound so that if you recognize it, you'll know exactly who it is without having to look down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do I have a lot of people or anybody who really wants that to be a thing? I think it was only one person, and I haven't seen him for a while. So it depends. It depends on your community. It depends on what they want, and it depends on what you want. You know, but whether or not it's necessary is probably not. It's just a supplementary thing. Um, have you had any negative streaming experience? Oh wait, you got something else? I heard you.
Yeah, but what alerts would you have for your community? I'm curious.
If it was no inconvenience to me, I don't know. Because here's the thing, I have sound alerts already, but I made it where the ones that irritate me cost more. You know, like if it's ha ha ha, you died, you suck, stuff like that, they cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And the ones that are supportive and nice, those ones don't. Those ones are like 10. They cost like 10, you know what I mean? So it's like, and I think you get like 30 or 50 every time you chat. So it's like they could do that. They don't. But still, the nice ones cost less and the more irritating ones cost more. So like and then the thing is like I can do it, but the problem for me is I don't want to do it for nothing. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to like for example, I have like what is it, either 10 or 20 sound alerts that are text based. So you can type a certain type of text in chat and it'll automatically play the sound and the only thing that happens is that it sets a cooldown so people can't spam it. Um I have those. But if I want more of those I have to pay. And do people use those sound alerts enough for me to justify paying for per month for alerts that people aren't going to use?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. So, like I said, you know, I could say I'll put all the alerts in, but I could do that now. But like I said, it's an inconvenience, but I could put all of them. You know what I mean? So it's like if it wasn't an inconvenience, I could do everything, but it is, so I don't do it. Um, have you had any negative streaming experience that has left you changed long term? If you're comfortable sharing what happened.
Well, it's only my fifth day streaming, so I don't really have any negative experience that would be traumatic or something.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, it's like a streaming. I would say is a viewer and a streamer. You know, that's why I say streaming and not streamer. But um, I've had some negative people and stuff, and I know for me, being a streamer has made it to where most of the messages that I've gotten, I don't even trust them. You know what I mean? You get
Mm-hmm.
messages from somebody and you don't kind of go, because I mean before it was kind of like someone sends you a message, auto accept, hi, how you doing? What's up? How's it going? But now it's like you have to assume people have some type of ulterior motive.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's in more places than even just streaming. Like I know for me, someone added me on Steam the other day, and when people add you, and they can't talk to you until they add you. So they add you, and you kind of have to accept it and hope that they're not idiots.
Mm-hmm.
So you add them, and then a couple days later, when you're available and you're not playing a game, which I appreciate this last person for doing. They didn't try to harass me while I was streaming a game. They said that the only reason they added me was so I can game share Mega Man Battle Network with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, uh, ignore and block. You know what I mean? But it's also like, damn, the audacity of people over the years has been fucking terrible. But yeah, what could your I? Oh, tell me.
You have a quite a perceptive ear. I mean, I've had some experiences. I wouldn't call them negative. I guess there are to be expected. Like where I would go into a person's chat and I would ask them, "Would you come do an interview?" And the person would say like, "What for?" or "Why?" And I would say, "Well, it's to raise the awareness about streaming." And then I would never hear from them again. I guess some people would qualify this as a negative experience, but I don't. I mean, that's just normal, I think.
That's fine. I'm happy that they were polite to you. Before I started trying to stream, remember I was trying to gain a community, grow a server. I would message people to add them as friends. And unfortunately, people thought that it wasn't genuine because I wanted to have everybody who was nice enough to want to be my friend all hurdle up in a server so I can talk to them and hang out with them all at the same time. But I've got some pretty nasty stuff from them. And I mean, like I said, it's not a streaming or as a streamer, it was before then. And I mean, I don't really see it as a negative experience because that's just how people are, but it definitely makes you stay your hand when you think about making friends like
Yeah,
that. You know what I mean? And I think that that's really a big problem with society now is that like when you have to make the first step, people are going to bite your hand so hard and it's like why would I keep offering my hand out if you're going to bite the hell out of it? And it's like it's not even like for example them, never mind. Go ahead. I heard I thought I was going to take a short time. I'm not. Go ahead.
I guess returning to your question about negative experiences and regarding what you just said, on my first day of streaming, after me and my friend streamed Morrowind for 3 hours and he left, and I was left on my own, and I was afraid to go into stream alone. I thought about reaching out to people, even in text chat, but I hesitated. I was anxious. I felt stage fright. So that is perhaps the most negative experience I had with streaming. But since then, it's been better. Every day, it's getting better.
I'm happy it has. I'm happy it has. I don't really have anything similar to that. I think most of my negative experiences that come from like self-doubt and stuff like that is, why would they watch my stream over everyone else's? You know, what makes my stream enough to click on mine versus someone else's? And I mean, don't get me wrong, like that's kind of the antics that people serve you when you try to promote your server. You know, why you're a server. And I, like I said, that's why I used to go crazy making sure that all the stuff was in there, because it's like now after I do that, I know mine's better than yours. I know mine, you know what I mean? I know mine's better than everybody's. You know, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. I did all the things, I got all the things, they're crossed up, they're connected, all that stuff. So now it's like, even if it's not good enough to you, for whatever reason, you know, some people say it's not good enough, they never even looked at it. It's good enough for me. You know what I mean? And I do think that eventually, when you figure out whatever you want to do with your channel, you're gonna feel that way too, and it's going to resolve some of the issues that you have, being self-conscious about the content that you make.
Mm-hmm.
What would your ideal community behavior be like from your audience? You kind of already answered this when you were talking about having people who were like respectful enough to each other,
Mm-hmm.
maintaining a respectful user environment, nothing rude, and how you'll get rid of the bad people in your audience in order to have a good community climate. So I'll probably skip over that one. Is there anything you would advise other streamers to do that you feel they don't know or think they feel too bold to admit?
Bold to admit. I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that. How would you answer that question?
Um, for me, handling criticism. Okay. I've been I've tried to hand out some nice criticism a long time ago, and I've had people react very poorly to it. And again, this is criticism handed nicely. Um, I've had people hand me very very foul worded criticism, and the thing that would always suck for me is that I would respond with the same energy that they responded to me with,
Mm-hmm.
and ironically, a few days later, I would address their problems. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, I fix your problems, but you're an asshole. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God. I'm not sure about this. You know, I have the same reservations with answering the question as you do, but I almost feel regretful, because it's like, I wonder if this person just doesn't know how to talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
if they, because you know how internet culture is, where it's kind of polarizing. It's the best thing in the world, it's goaded, or it's absolute hot trash. So it's like, maybe the way that they've learned to express themselves was in a way where they thought that they needed to tell me that it was the worst thing in the world in order for me to respond to it. And I didn't give enough time to be around to kind of elaborate on their thoughts. It was just kind of like I had the springboard and I hit the eject button, and that's it. Um, what are some of the insecurities you feel as a streamer?
Ooh, where do I begin? Securities. Well, I guess, like I said, it's getting better every day. The insecurities were mostly on the first and second day. Like, I had stage fright, I had anxiety. I didn't know how I would entertain people in chat and whether I needed to, whether it was my job to entertain people in chat. But now I know that even a chat with no commentary is fine. I mean, a stream with no commentary is fine. Some people, lurkers, will still come and watch it. And now that I have you to talk to, it makes that all much easier to entertain people. Have an entertaining stream. But like I said, I am an introvert, so most of my life I have avoided being social with other people. So I suppose most of my insecurities come from that. I mean, I know that I am uncharismatic. I know that I am unentertaining, and the advice I got in regarding that is go to acting class, go to improv class. And I agree. I have heard similar stories of people becoming kind of looser, freer, more confident after attending an acting class. So I should probably do that.
Really?
Yeah.
I, okay. I mean, listen, I don't have the exact same personality as you do. I've never had someone tell me that.
Mm.
But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm afraid that if I would, even like I said, I'm afraid that if I did that myself, I'd come back and I wouldn't behave genuinely. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And that's what fears. That's what I'm afraid of. Where it's like I don't want to attract people that aren't going to understand who I am or how I behave. And I mean, most people's simple answer to that question is to change. Just change. But, like I've already been in situations where I've been surrounded by people who I don't know. You know what I mean? So like I've had like for example, when I did the server thing, the some of the best times of the server was actually in the beginning. I had people I thought I knew in there. And then when they saw that I was having trouble building server, they invited basically everyone they knew in there. And it was nice, but when a lot of things happened and there was a falling out and there's a whole bunch of drama and stuff, you could see that even the people that um those friends invited to the server, they picked different sides too. And when everything was all and done, it felt like I was surrounded by people who I didn't know. So I had to start over. And I do think that if I made it to where everybody in that server was just interested in the things that I was interested in from the start, then there wouldn't have been a moment where I kind of just look forward and it's like, I don't know you 6 ways from Sunday. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I don't have the luxury of, owning a community that's large enough for me to kind of, you know, turn a blind eye to stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for example, there was a lot of times where people would start conversations in the server and then feel like those weren't conversations that were appropriate to have, despite the fact that those people know that I do like tackling tough subjects. So it was like I got to see good things start and never got to see them happen. And it was just like, why am I surrounded by people who don't trust me enough to talk to me? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you were having a tough time in a game and were faced with choosing to end stream, but your community begged you to play on a lower difficulty or change games instead, would you do it?
Yeah, I guess I am a people pleaser. If people want me to stay and continue, I would probably do it despite my own discomfort. I mean, I'm like that in real life too. I would sacrifice some of my own comfort and my own strength and my own effort and time just to please other people.
Be careful with that.
Hmm.
Okay. Has your community ever made you want to stream less, stop streaming a specific game, or want to read chat less?
Well, my community sounds like I have one. I mean, even at this point, I have like six followers, so not much of a community to speak of. Maybe one person, Gilgamesh, who has been active with me, so I guess maybe he is my community. But no, I haven't had any negative experience with the community yet.
Okay. Have you ever had to ban someone from your chat? What made you feel the need to do so? And do you feel it is very important for others to understand why?
Well, again, my community isn't big enough for me to have such a situation. I mean, I can tell you one thing. Before I did streaming, I started a project on Instagram called the Small Content Creator Support. So it's like SCCS, and basically I've invited small artists and just people who want to support small artists, small content creators. And the community got to a size of 1,000 members on DeviantArt and 1,000 followers on Instagram. And I had like 500 people on my Discord server, I think, of which maybe 50 were online at all times. And there was one person there who just seemed off. He was like very odd. I don't know if he wasn't fluent in English, or if it was for some other reason that he communicated in such a peculiar way. But he was giving the people the wrong vibes, the odd vibes, and I didn't know how to handle that. I just let it be because I have never dealt with anything like that, and I am not a very decisive person to begin with. So I wouldn't even know how to take action on such a thing.
Okay. Um, I guess for me, I I have many times um for various reasons. Sometimes it's like it's for mannerisms. Some people do not seem to want to concede the fact that they're bringing negativity to your space.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, those people kind of eventually show that they don't care. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of personality, and I know for me too, there was another one actually on Twitch where it showed that they refused to have the capacity to resolve a disagreement. Where when somebody was upset, instead of staying around to the point where they can resolve the situation, they left.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me personally, I do not like that. I am someone who likes to resolve conflicts. I like to stay there until it's squashed, until all the information has been shared, and so we don't have to revisit it. So, for example, the way that he handled it, he left. So, when he comes back, if you cared about what made him abandon the situation before, that tension is still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I didn't think that he had the. I don't think he cared. You know what I mean? Like he'll come back, and because he said something, he said, "At the end of the day, it's just Twitch." That's what he
Mm.
said when I told him that the thing was bothering me, and it was just like it almost implied that he felt enabled to behave a certain way because he was in a different place. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? In the same way a child would misbehave if there was a substitute teacher rather than your standard teacher.
Mm.
And like I said, that didn't sit well with me. Um, what scares you the most about approving the wrong users for moderation?
That it would damage my community. and damage it in a permanent way, making some good people leave. Yeah, having good people leave, I suppose that's the most terrifying thing for me.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Um, I think another thing for me personally is I'm not always looking at my chat, despite the fact I respond fast. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not always looking. So there could be times where those people could be posting links, and that's why I don't have too many moderators because I feel like there will be an instance where these people feel like emboldened enough to do something like that. And, a lot of times the thing that sucks for me is that I know I'm not a lot of people's first choice.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of people on Twitch that they wouldn't lose a blink of sleep if you decided to get rid of them. So they could post their favorite people in your chat. Now you have to tab out of the game, delete the post, shake your finger at the
Mm-hmm.
moderator, hope they don't do anything wrong, and if they keep doing it, or if they show that they don't respect you at all, now you gotta ban them. You know what I mean? And now it's
Mm-hmm.
like, ugh, you know. But if you could stream for shorter streams or longer without any change to your desired trajectory, which would you choose and why?
Mm. Well, my streams are pretty long anyway. I guess I am an avid gamer, I am a hardcore gamer, so I would probably want to stream longer. I mean, if I could eliminate the need for sleep or just reduce it, get on with just 4 hours of sleep a day, I would probably do it and spend more time streaming.
Okay,
And why? I guess it's a lifestyle.
it's a good answer. Provided the opportunity, what are some of the things you would want to inform your audience of to make the world a better place?
Hmm. I don't know if I'm even comfortable being put in that sort of position where I have the authority to tell people what to do. But I guess empathy. Empathy would be my lesson number one. Just try to understand other people, where they're coming from. Try to be kinder, less judgmental.
Absolutely. I think that that's probably one of the main things that doing surveys like these would, or not, what's it called? Uh, is it called survey? I don't know, but that's one of the things that doing something like this would help accomplish. Okay, that's probably why my questions are like this because like establishing the humanity in the individual is very important to me. You know what I mean? Because it's
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of times, like I said, I see a lot of big content creators and stuff like that, and it's just like it's a puppet almost. You know what I mean? Where it's like, here's the ad, here's this thing. I don't reply to any comments. I do the thing. I clap my hands, I entertain, I do my dance, and then I leave. And it's just like, how am I supposed to find value in you aside from just like in objective video? You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, yeah, you play Yu-Gi-Oh, very good, but why am I watching you play Yu-Gi-Oh? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Why am I watching you do this over anybody else? And you know, is it because it's more entertaining? Is it because you have somebody who's streaming with you? Because I mean, sometimes that makes the experience more fun too, where you have people who stream certain things, and the fact that they stream with other people at all times makes it more fun to watch. You know, it's unfortunate that it's like that because it's like that sounds like it just means that you need to make friends that enable you to do content like that.
Mm-hmm.
without having to watch someone else do it. But, because of the way things are, you have to kind of, surrender the idea that you can just go meet some friends and play some games. You know, how would it make you feel if you find users elsewhere who have told you they like your streams or have said that they are busy?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay, like this. Imagine I tell you I have things to do, I'm busy, I don't have time to watch your stream, and I go to someone else's stream
Mm-hmm.
and you find me. That's what that is.
I see. Hmm. I'm not sure. I guess I would have to really face that situation to know how I would feel about it. I
Okay, okay,
mean,
that's fine.
maybe it would make me feel upset, but then again, I try not to dwell on such things. Even if I'm upset about something, I just try to shrug my shoulders and move on. Tell
It's good that you
myself.
can handle it like that. For me, I in my brain, that person comes back and I'm like, look at that liar. Look at that fucking liar. Oh my God. It's like, yo, bro, like, oh my God, yeah, yeah. I'm busy. I don't have time, bro. I saw you over there. I saw you over here. And that's kind of a problem for me because, like, for example, when I started streaming, like I said, I had the community, and most of the people in the community was those people I sent you, and people in those groups are the people I sent you. So when I hear people say they have something to do and they have something to see, almost everybody in my follower list was someone that knew each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go, yeah, damn, don't worry about it, bro. I'll see you later. Take care of business. And I tab over and I'd see them. So it was very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads into the next question. What steps do you take to not take things like that personally?
Mm. Well, I suppose if I really think about it, it goes back to when I was like 16 years old and working with my father doing floor technician jobs, maybe even younger than that. My father is basically a kind of person that he wouldn't think twice about telling you that you're doing something wrong. And so for me, I got like an inferiority complex because he was telling me, you're doing this wrong and you're doing that wrong. And yeah, I got a real inferiority complex. I didn't tell him about it, or anyone for that matter. But basically, it taught me to deal with negative emotions in a way that was first unproductive. I simply bottled it up. But then I learned to just not let it affect me, to just let it go over me, go over my head.
Mm,
And so now it's like basically, if you can, not sure how to express it in English. Basically, if you can ignore it, then just ignore it.
hmm Like, I guess my father is somewhat of an opposing factor to yours in that respect, because my father is kind of the type of person to watch what you do and try to understand why you're doing it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So like sometimes he'll watch me do something wrong, and that now I'd be lying if I said it wouldn't make me frustrated because it's like I know damn well you know how to do this, and you're
Mm-hmm.
watching me fuck it up. You know what I mean? And I was like, but then like later he'll explain to me what I could do to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
He'll tell me like the easiest way to do it and all that stuff, and it's just like, you almost watched me flop around like a fish for a little bit before you gave me the best answer in the world, and it's like, you know what, you could have saved me some shame. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, my dad, it's usually one on one in situations like that. So like there is no shame
Mm-hmm.
because I know that he's not like that. But it's still weird to just sit there and not know what the fuck you're doing, and he's just looking at you like, huh, yeah, not like that. Oh yeah, yeah. But What would bother you the most about switching schedules as a streamer?
Bother is a strong word, but I suppose having to readjust my sleeping schedule. Even now, when I stream 12 hours a day, I start streaming at 4 a.m. My local time. So I had to readjust a bit. I'm used to sleeping to maybe 10 or 12 in the afternoon. Now I have to get up at 3:30 or even earlier to start streaming at 4. So that
Mm,
adjustment was a bit tough for me, to a point where on the first few days of streaming it made me feel low motivation, and instead of streaming I just went to sleep. But this is only a matter of time before I readjust, so it's not a big problem.
okay. Um, if you care to know my answer is that unfortunately for me, most of my schedules have had one very active member of the chat. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So like I would change streams and basically lose that one person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like it's no hard feelings to those people. It's just that sometimes you kind of feel like I know for me, if I have one person in my chat, I feel bad that they don't have company. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Because there's only so much that I can talk about, and I've felt like that so often because especially later on because when there was someone else in the chat, I noticed how aggressive they were at trying to keep the other person in there. You know what I mean? Where it's like every message they make is a reply. I see the other person's username quoted over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Not like spam, but like it's like there's only two people in the chat. You don't have to quote each other like that. But the other person, the person that is regular in my chat, is quoting them over and over and over again so that they know that they're talking to the other person. And it was like I know that I need to find more people to make sure that you're not bored because I know for me I'm pretty set as an adult. You know what I mean? So like my opinions don't waver, but I will give you very very intricate reasonings for why I feel the way that I do. So it's like it's almost unwavering, and I think that that's very bad for people who want to have open discussions. You know what I mean? And it's like, don't get me wrong, like I'm not here to make people feel different about the way that they feel. Absolutely not. But, I'm kind of the type of person that will draw a circle and explain why I'm standing in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't think that that is very productive for new and lasting conversations, you know? So it's kind of like I'll have a conversation with some of these people about like a very tense subject one time, and after they figure out where I stand and why, um, we'll kind of just agree to disagree at that point. If you could have any schedule, what would it be and why?
Well, I suppose the schedule I am having now, I chose it for many reasons, and let me just list those reasons at the top of my head. First of all, starting stream at 4 a.m. in my local time. I've heard somewhere that getting up early is healthy for you. So that's reason number one. Reason number two is that I can fit in 12 hours of streaming into the time of day where I am not needed by most people, by my family. So at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when I finish my stream, I become available for other people, and that is when I will be needed by most of them. Because let's say at 5 p.m. on on Fridays, they bring my nephew over, and he likes to play Astroneer with me, to the point where it's even unhealthy. His parents try to limit his interactions with the video game. And in the evening times, I watch movies with my mother after she comes home from work. So I need to be available for that because she relies on me as a, well, supplier of entertainment. She enjoys the time we spend together. So I need to be available for that. And that leaves me with maybe 8 hours left in my daily schedule for sleep and other stuff. So really, I think I have found the perfect schedule for me, and I will try to stick to it.
I commend that. Um, like I used to hang out with my father every day that he was available at about 6 p.m. For the same reasons. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to think that you know, in a world like modern day, there aren't that many people that you can trust with your thoughts. And I understand that it seems like my father feels that way, like not to just fully assume, but it feels like my father feels that way. And it's nice to know that you're a person that can exist for them and yourself, that you can kind of share thoughts and know that they will be they'll be allowed to exist to completion. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you'll have an exchange with somebody about your opinion, and they'll stop you halfway, and they don't want to hear it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it'll just be an absolute misunderstanding because they didn't let you finish. Where like, because I know for me, I've said things to my father before, and he the eyebrows would go up, but
Mm-hmm.
then after he let me finish, then it was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like it's nice to be able to have that exchange with another human being. It is unfortunate that it seems like it's kind of exclusive to people that you've known for your entire life, but we do what we can. If you could successfully stream on any platform, which would you choose and why?
Mm. Well, before I came to Twitch, before I started streaming, I was mostly using YouTube. I didn't watch any streams, I suppose. So if all platforms were equal in the potential to gain viewership, I would probably choose YouTube because I'm more familiar with it and I like YouTube.
Makes sense. Um, I need to figure out what bitrate I need to stream at on YouTube in order to get the stream quality to look the same as Twitch. Also, I need to figure out what I need to do on YouTube in order to get live videos more viewership. Um, the difference between a live video and a published video is basically atrocious. Um, you could upload the same exact video that is in your live feed to a video feed, in terms of your channel, and you'll get more people to look at the video that's been published, despite the fact that it's the exact same video as
Mm-hmm.
that the one that's in your live. It's unfortunate. Um, so if YouTube could fix that, YouTube. Um, Also, YouTube anyway, because Twitch lets your videos expire, and that's a goddamn shame. Also, did you turn VODs on for your channel?
No, I just didn't. I just don't think my current content is worth uploading.
Well,
The
VODs, it just saves after the stream. So after you're done streaming, it'll be available.
Yeah, they are saved. I just don't
Oh, you
upload.
have them hidden?
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
upload them.
all right, that's fine. I
But
just want to make sure because I know someone in server said it earlier and it just came up.
yeah, I think starting today I will upload my VODs, make them available. But on the other hand, do you think that will clutter my video feed with unnecessary videos? Do you think that maybe I should upload only the highlights of the interviews?
Highlights and VODs are displayed together. You can actually make a different area for your highlights than your VODs. So you can have your highlights over your VODs if need be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, I will be honest with you though. In terms for me, highlight viewership is kind of low. And the main reason why I publish so many highlights is because I can chop up the video in Twitch and send it straight to YouTube. I also used to use highlights in order to display the fact that I beat an entire game in a single stream,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that there's anyone out there that appreciates that kind of commitment right now. Um, but it's there. I don't know. Approximately how much time off stream do you invest in thinking about streaming a day?
Well, difficult to answer because I've only started streaming recently and this is only my fifth stream. I did think about it quite a lot in the beginning, to a point of being almost obsessed with it. And I guess I was excited about it. That was one of the reasons why I spent so much time thinking about it. But basically, it was so much so I was obsessing over it that I wasn't able to fall asleep at night. Now, though, I think it has kind of balanced out. Now I have gotten used to streaming. I stream 12 hours a day, no problem, and I sleep like a baby. So I think, I think. But how much time do I spend streaming? About thinking about streaming? I guess at least a couple of hours a day.
Well, you're further along than I am then, because I spend too much time thinking about streaming. I spend too much time thinking about overlays and sounds and which ways to implement them and stuff like that. Probably you can gather that by the fact that I thought that it was a worthwhile question to ask. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm still at the obsession phase
Mm-hmm.
of wasting too much time in my life thinking about what I can do to, convince people to come over.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, for example, look at this. You know what's sad? I don't think any audio is coming through my microphone mixer at all. Oh my God, dude. Yeah,
So,
your audio is coming through and not mine. That is absolutely fucking dog shit. Wow. Well, that's terrible.
well,
All right then.
it's still recorded on my stream, so that's alright, I guess.
Yeah, it's just absolutely sad. Because like I told you, I updated the application and
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately the way that this application updates is that it it creates a new app
Mm-hmm.
and it tries to move as much data as it can over. And as you can see, it forgets the data that's important.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's absolutely depressing. Um,
Well, look, I like talking to you, so you can always ask me the same questions again.
Never
Mm-hmm.
going to happen. All right, it's never happening. What are your preferable topics of discussion when streaming, and what topics do you prefer to entertain from your community?
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, I definitely know to stay away from topics such as politics, sex, religion, what else? Hot topics like topics that are too personal, I suppose. So I will definitely stay away from those. But other than that, anything would go.
Okay.
What about you?
Um, See, I like talking about a lot of stuff. But I think the topics that I prefer not to have be primary is like personal things like my cat is cute, this is my pet, this is my thing, because I don't have, um, like I don't know their pet. You know what I mean? So like they want to go in and on about their pets and stuff, and I can't entertain the discussion long enough because it also feels like whatever I add to discussion could take away from how they feel about their pet. Where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, my cat is this and my cat is that, and I'll go, oh, my dog and this and that. It's like, no, like I want to talk about my cat, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like, like what is this? Like what the hell? The Twitter's right there. You can post about your cat over there, and I mean, it's not disrespectful. It's just that there's an aspect of I don't have enough. There's not enough. You know, interchangeable comments that I can make to have that discussion be worthwhile to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but in terms of preferable conversations, mostly video games. You know what I mean? Because like video games is just something that I'm very familiar with. So when someone talks about something, I can kind of go over here, I can go over there, I can recommend some games, I can remind them of some games, stuff like that, and I can create a an area where it's branching conversation and it almost goes on for as long as they want them to. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And because it's a gaming platform and it's a gaming stream, these people can kind of, you know, um, intercept with whatever they feel is appropriate. You know what I mean? So it it's almost I would say it's contagious if people are interested in the same thing. And like I said, I would really love to always have those type of conversations because they're pretty easy. What would be the type of community event you would host if money or time was no object?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd be comfortable hosting an event. I mean, I'm quite a reserved person. I like to be reclusive, stay indoors. So maybe it would be an online event, and I would choose probably the easiest form of it, like a charity of some sort. Charity
Okay,
for mental health, perhaps.
it's very noble. Um, I honestly don't know myself either. Especially given the happenings of Kai Cenat. I don't know if you know what happened to him,
No,
but
what?
he hosted a giveaway in New York City, and too many people came,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't act. Um, they had no diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't behave very well. They were basically destroying property and stuff like that because he left the area. There were too many people, and um, he got in trouble by the law by saying that he was inciting a riot and all this other stuff when it was clear that he wanted to host a giveaway. And but not don't get me wrong, he's a hype man. Most content creators are hype men, so they wanted to talk about how crazy it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it blew out of proportion. So I know for me that unfortunately that was a kind of event that I would prefer to do because it's like I know for me as a person, I do feel like the internet has actually made things worse in terms of people coming together and connecting because we all have the opportunity to get exactly what we want and then not stick around for anything else. So I do think that people being in proximity to each other, especially since they all have a common interest, which is, the streamer and stuff, that, we can kind of remove the avatar. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, we all like the same things. We all fuck around with this game. We all play and do this. We all like teaming up. We like talking. We like cheering things on and stuff like that. So it's like, yo, we're all people. You know what I mean? Like, look at that. Look at how many people aren't bots. This is real.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So it's like maybe you guys will treat each other in chat differently now. Maybe you guys will be like, "Yo, I saw you over there. I was blue shirt guy. Yo, I was
mm,
pink shirt girl or whatever." And now it's like, "Yo, what's up? That's cool. I'm so happy we got to meet, blah blah blah." And now it's like, you know, you get to see people under the skin. You know what I mean? Where it's like, "Okay, cool." And now when you come back to chat, it adds so much value to the stream because it's like the person who we're watching cared enough to bring us together. You know what I
mm.
mean? It's a community investment that I think that some of the best people will appreciate. And um, like I said, I would love to do something like that myself, but because of the way that people reacted, it doesn't seem like it's a good idea. Do you have an ideal age group for your audience? If so, why and what is it?
I don't. I mean, anybody that comes and finds me entertaining, I welcome them.
It's good. I agree. What do you think the best way to advertise your channel would be if you could advertise anywhere?
Hmm. I could advertise anywhere. I honestly haven't thought about it. I mean, the only three platforms that come to mind are Reddit, YouTube, and TikTok. Making viral content there and hoping that people will stick around and come watch me stream.
It's kind of a trick question that
Oh,
I just realized myself.
what's the trick and how would you answer that question?
Well, I didn't think about it until I asked it. And the easiest answer that would basically break the game is the top of the page.
Hmm,
You want to advertise your Twitch channel? Top of the page.
right.
You want to advertise YouTube? Top of the page. Easy mode. You know what I mean? So yeah, a dumb question after I got to think about it. Sorry for asking it, okay? Because I'm pretty sure somebody who is like a smart ass could have been just like, "Hey, see?" And I'll be like, "Yep, you win." Um, as a person, is there anything about you that you hope you can subconsciously communicate to your user base?
Subconsciously communicate to my user base. Good question, man. Hmm. I don't know. I really am at a point in my life where I am at a crossroads about many things. So I don't really know who I am or what I'm doing at this point. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. So I don't have an answer for that particular question.
That's fine. Um, for me, I'm I'm very lighthearted, but I'm also very angry.
Hmm.
Um, I'm nice until I have a reason not to be, and
Hmm.
then I'm an ass. And it's not even because I want to be. It's kind of like a defense mechanism. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Where it's like I want to help people. I want to be nice. I want to be respectful and stuff. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like I need to surrender my well-being for the sake of somebody feeling like they've made someone feel like crap for the day. You know what I mean? Why do you feel those are the most important things for them to understand? You don't know, so we can skip that. Do you think quality or quantity is more important to you as a streamer? Is it only for the sake of visibility?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a tricky question. Do you want? would you sacrifice quality for having more viewers? So I would probably go like this. I would do quantity if it meant more viewers, as long as it got me up to 10 viewers, which is my goal, having 10 consecutive viewers. But then, when I have that much, which is to me a lot, 10 viewers is a lot, then I would focus on quality.
It's a good answer. Um, Now I have a little bit of experience with this, and it wasn't intentional. Um, I made a stream of One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, right? And the stream broke. No, no, not the stream broke. The game has a bug with RAM. So maybe 8 hours into the game, my RAM overloaded. And I have 80 gigs of RAM. So, wow,
Hmm.
number one. And number two, I had to I basically chose to continue the stream, and I was upset because I like to beat games in a single stream.
Mm-hmm.
So the first thing that I tried to do was I tried to upload the video to Twitch because I got affiliate, so I was able to do it. But Twitch has a file size limitation on their uploads, and I think it's like 30 something gigs, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a 10-hour file, after I passed it together in the video software. So what I did was I turned my computer on and I played the video back on stream like you said you was going to do with the interview,
Yeah.
and the quality went down. I also had to turn off pop-up chat so they wouldn't overlap,
Right.
and then I ended up like having people follow through that, but I don't know. It didn't work out as well as I thought it was, and that's why you'd see I'm not really doing it anymore. But I don't know. It could be different if it's a different game, and I know there's some people who do 24-hour streams. Um, I do think that if electricity wasn't so expensive, I would probably consider doing it more, and I would kind of have the video somewhere on my person so that I can reply to people live. You know what I mean? And now I'll be able to chat with you guys or everyone, and you guys can enjoy an old video and still support, still get an average and stuff like that. Attract new viewers, and then we can make fun of dumb things that I did in the game because it feels way better after it's done than it is while you're doing it. And grow the community like that. But like I said, I tried it. Well, I tried it once, you know what I mean, and it didn't really do enough for me to consider doing it more often. Do you think you'd have better chances of growing if you had a more natural way of communicating your socials with others?
My socials? What do you mean?
Like Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, whatever. Uh,
Oh,
you know, uh,
I mean, at this point, no. My socials aren't that big.
no, no. See, that's not what I mean. I'm saying like, let's say that let's say classic forums were still a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could talk to people there, and you could bring up things there. You can have subjects and things there. Like, do you feel like being able to share your socials in a situation like that would have helped your following more than you can do that in a modern environment? Like, for example, old socials also had signatures. So you could advertise your socials in that signature, and now the more you talk, the more you're advertising passively, you know?
Mm. I don't really know how to answer that.
Okay. I feel like it would help me. Um, because back then when you could have agreements and disagreements in areas like forums and stuff like that, you could have somebody who is trying to communicate with you click on your socials, and if they see that you're live, they can probably come in your chat and be like, yo, I saw your conversation about this and that. That's a really good idea, or that's a really good thought, or hey, I disagreed with your thing over there. Why do you feel that way? And now I'm also helping the metrics of the stream by resolving, conversations that I've had somewhere else. Like I said, I think it would help me, but it's different. Approximately how long do you think it'll take to be successful as a streamer? What types of obstacles do you think are going to be the hardest to overcome?
Well, I think it's all in my hands. Depends on how proactive I want to be about it. For example, if I just stream 12 hours a day and do nothing else, then it will really take a long time to become successful, like years, maybe not ever. But if instead of just streaming, I reach out to people to ask them for support, to invite them to interviews, to ask them to be my friend, then I think it will go a lot faster. Like, let's say I reach out to a much more successful streamer and ask them for a collaboration. And if they are interested in my content, they will say yes, let's say. And if they have time and the desire to help me, that would definitely grow my audience a lot faster. So I think that is the way to go. And it's not just in streaming, it's a lot of other areas too, like art, for example. When I was an active artist on Instagram and Twitter, when I wanted to make it my career, I did
Hmm.
some research, and basically it said that not research. I asked other more successful artists how they got to, for example, 50,000 followers on Instagram. And the person said that they were just randomly posting fan art for some movie like what was it called? The Stranger Things, the TV show. And that fan art got a random hit. It became viral randomly. And that's how
Hmm.
they got thousands of new followers. So it's both luck and how proactive you are, I guess.
Hmm. That's true. Back when I used to use Tumblr, I had this high resolution tablet, and I would play PSP games on it. And when I played Kingdom Hearts, since the tablet had such a high resolution, when I took screenshots, they were kind of higher quality than they should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And when I posted the screenshots, a lot of people liked them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that did help me back in the days. Um, do you have any experience with cooperative streaming? What are they, and do you feel they've helped your or hurt your content over time?
Well, the only type of cooperative streaming experience I have is having you in my voice chat, and I think that is really helping a lot. It makes my streams more entertaining, and when a viewer comes in, even randomly, they hear us talk and they may stay for longer. And even in general, just chatting with you, it's more fun than just sitting in the game alone and not knowing what to talk about.
True enough. Um, I've had cooperative streams where I would stream the same game as the other person because we're playing cooperatively, and they've chosen the other streamer over me, and yeah, that kind of ruined my opinion of it for a
Oh,
while. I mean, for the sake of having a dialogue, though, it's not the same. But when you're playing a game and they kind of want to see the other person play the game, and because I know for me the other person had a webcam and all that stuff, so it was just like, I guess to some people that's more interesting than the gameplay itself. But it's what it is. It's a fight I can't win. Um, do you have any mistakes that you feel other streamers make? If so, what might they be? And if not, why do you feel that way?
mistakes. I guess the same thing that I was talking about earlier. Just not being proactive enough in trying to promote yourself, trying to reach out to people, trying to make connections. I mean, even right now, instead of streaming for 12 hours a day, I could be messaging people 12 hours a day. But
Hmm.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm just going along with it at my own pace. So for now, I just want to stream. But later, I will definitely reach out to people.
Now, one follow-up question I might have for you on that. Do you think that there have been people that you've shared your links to that have clicked on your content and wondered where everything is? Because I know you don't have VODs on. Do you think that there might be a time where people have clicked on your stuff and they clicked away because they didn't see anything?
Yeah, probably. So probably starting today, I will upload my VODs. And especially since I have fixed the issue with my microphone, now the sound quality should be better. And it wasn't even just my own sound quality. On my last stream, your voice was not heard very loud. My own voice was a lot louder, so that imbalance kind of makes me discouraged about uploading that sort of content to Twitch. But starting today, I think everything is balanced and alright, and I will upload my VODs.
Do you feel that the individual nature of streaming can potentially harm society? Why or why not?
Well, I will trust the experts on this, the social science experts, and they say that yes, it harms, it isolates people from others. It's not healthy to sit in front of a screen the entire day. I know. I mean, I definitely should be going to the gym more. I should be socializing with people more. So I understand all that, but also it's a lifestyle. It's a life choice. I mean, I like being at home and just playing games. Maybe that is my niche. Maybe that is my zone of comfort. Maybe that's how it's supposed to be.
I didn't mean for you to take that question so personally.
Oh,
I meant, well, I mean, listen, it's still a fine answer. I was talking about kind of the idea that you have hundreds of people trying to relate to one person instead of the people that they're literally standing next to in
right.
terms to, relating to the people where it's like you have thousands of people who are surrounded by people who like the same thing that they like and they don't care about those people. They care about the one person they're watching. I do feel like that over time we've kind of we've overlooked the fact that society has actually grown more um, like we all like the same things now. Like everybody has Netflix. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people play video games. A lot of people do the same things, but it's been harder to socialize with each other for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So I do think that it harms it in that way. Um, I don't understand why why that happens, but it happens. Are there any instances where you feel like you should have started streaming sooner? Are you comfortable naming any?
Well, I suppose again this will be a personal answer, rather personal. I came back from Norway about 5 years ago and I was suffering like a severe case of depression. I suppose I should have started streaming then, because even though the depression would have made it hard, it still would have built up my community slowly, bit by bit, and it would have given me something to do, something to aspire for. Instead of that, I was just wallowing in my depression. So I guess, yeah, if I started 5 years ago, it would have been a lot better for a lot of aspects.
I'm sorry to hear that, honestly. It's unfortunate that you had to deal with depression like that, and it probably would have been better for you to have an outlet like that. Um, I'm sorry also too for not expecting that there would be an answer like that. I I have, you know, I have the same like response to the answer, not you know, wholly depression, but it was like you know, like I told you before, there were people around me that said that streaming was really hard and that it wasn't as simple as turning a camera on and playing a game. And I do feel like back when I knew those people, if I would have streamed, um, those people would have helped me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have had a very established community based on the fact that there were so many people familiar with me and so many people who would vouch for me at the time. Um, Now, don't get me wrong, it might have gone up and down because despite the fact I'm the same race as the guy who couldn't stand me, he thought I was racist. So, yeah, that's always fun. Um, but yeah, him and some of his closer people kind of spent the 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 last moments that I was able to actually see what was going on in his server, spreading rumors about the fact that I was, well, not really fact, but that I was racist. And it was kind of like the way that the verbiage that they would use to kind of like make sure that people understood that I was racist before they would leave them alone. Like where it was kind of like, oh, you're vouching for him? No, 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 no. He's racist. He's bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. Before we continue, he's racist. He's bad. You got to understand that before we move on. And it's like, bro, what? But you know, it was always in a situation where I couldn't defend myself. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Um, as a new streamer, or if not, what was some of the pressures you faced from your fellow streamers?
Well, I didn't have any fellow streamers to begin with, I guess. I just started streaming and I didn't know anyone. Not a soul. So, not many pressures to think about.
All right. For me, and you'll probably see it later if you ever deal with the people I've sent you. There's a lot of quid pro quo.
Mm,
Okay, you know what that means?
yeah.
Okay. Where they come to your spot and they want you to go to theirs, and I don't have a server to the point where I can watch everybody's stream at the same time, and I don't expect them to all watch my stream at the same time, but it becomes very exhausting when the idea is that everybody that you watch is really a streamer. You know what I mean? And it's like it's almost like because I remember I was working at this auto job a while back, and when you work there, they give you a sizable discount. And I remember I told my family something, and I didn't think it was true. You know, sometimes I make jokes and you know, only because they're half true or, you know, because I think they're half true. But the joke I made was that they're giving you a discount card so that you can give your money back to them.
Mm,
And the problem was that that was more true than I thought it was. And that 20% discount compared to the prices, the price hike that they put on those items, they're robbing the people that would buy from them, and everybody that would buy from them was actually employees at the job.
mm-hmm.
So it was crazy. And of course, you know, when you make a joke like that, it doesn't seem founded. So when I tell them I was that's real, you know, people look at me like I'm crazy. Um, so like if streaming felt like that, where it was like the entire audience of streaming is just trading numbers. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, you know how it is, follow for follow. You got some people that sub for sub. You're not making a single cent if you do that because, you know, Twitch is 50-50. You know what I mean? So now you're moving numbers left and right because you want enough emotes in your chat. You
Mm-hmm.
want enough bragging rights. You want enough this or that. And now it comes to trust. Where if we all trusted each other, all of us can have 500,000 subs because it will trade for zero. But it also doesn't because think about it. You spend $5, right? The other person gets 250. The other
Mm-hmm.
person spends $5 and you get 250. So
Mm-hmm.
we're basically throwing half of our money away just to look like we're successful. You know what I mean? But again, this is another instance of being part of an enterprise that robs you for contributing to it. You know what I mean? So it's very scary to think about. Um, why do you think other streamers feel that you have the time to support so many other streamers, despite the fact that there are so many people here? Despite the fact so many people here stream as well. I literally ran into that question, but since you couldn't answer the last one, I don't think you'll probably know why later, but not yet. If you could change the way Twitch places channels on the front page or how users are searched, how would you do so?
Uh, I guess I would make it like 50-50. 50% of the streamers would be like successful streamers, the ones that produce really good content and the algorithm knows that they're good, and the other 50% would be new streamers. Well, not new necessarily, but those who have few viewers, so that the new guys that get discovered more easily, I suppose.
Mm, I agree with that. I think that one of the better ways to handle that, aside from well, not aside, but instead of like kind of leaving it to the community, is having like curated staff
Mm,
to go through channels, even VODs, and find channels that they think are interesting and would need more discovery.
right.
You know what I mean? So that because if you leave it to the people, people are just gonna vote for the most popular people anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So you have staff that goes like maybe curator's choice or something like that, where these people watched the person's content and says, you know what, I wish more people could look at this, and now they got you to be seen more, and it'll lead to more discovery without the the side effect of having it to the people where they just kind of do exactly what they used to do anyway. Um, what do you think you could change about yourself to immediately boost your chances of gaining a following? Would you do it? Why or why not?
I guess I would become charismatic or hyper charismatic. I would become like aesthetically appealing, like have a nice appearance. I would then use my webcam to attract more people. I guess that of anything. What about you?
I have the same answer as you. Okay. I would get a webcam, but would I do it? No. And I don't want to attract people like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. I am so afraid of attracting people who don't care about anything that I'm doing and just care about what I look like.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have that problem in real life. Because like I know for me, I'm pretty tall, and I've had people who kind of just don't give a damn about who you are as a person, don't care about what you think, don't care about what's in your head. They
Mm-hmm.
care about what's outside.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sickening to be around people who only care about how you look,
Mm-hmm.
despite the fact that you've made it a point to learn how to articulate and learn how to talk on different subjects and stuff, and it means nothing to them, and it's very alarming and disappointing to see that as a person. And online, I don't want to deal with that either, because if I wanted to deal with that, I could just go outside. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
um do you think that it's a fair or shallow or I can't read. Do you think it is fair that a shallow or fragile change like that would be necessary to coerce people to consider your channel more?
I mean, It would definitely bring more viewers, but I suppose if you don't want to, you don't have to make that sacrifice. Just accept that you will have less viewers, but at least you won't sacrifice your principles.
Hmm. Yeah, like I don't think it's fair, but it's crazy because like I said before, like chatterbait.com, pornhub.com, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
if you're looking to look at something, go over there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we're supposed to be talking about video games, and it's so crazy to see that, you know, Twitch, video games, and that's not it. And I know for me, YouTube gives me that problem too, where it's like I don't know if you ever seen YouTube over the years where it's like now instead of seeing people who make informative content, you go on YouTube and you see everybody's face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like they're supposed to tell you
Right.
how to fix your settings and stuff, and now you see a face. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's got nothing with my OBS audio settings, bro. Like never mind. I don't understand. But I do think that the reason why they're doing that is because of how awful it is that people steal content.
Right.
So you know, like for example, even for me, one of the worst things that I could fail to is having someone just take my content and put a webcam over my watermark,
Mm.
keck, and now they have my stuff. It's ugly. Um, what do you feel your main appeal as a streamer is, and if you were able to add to that appeal, what would you choose to add?
Well, I guess until I met you, I thought I had no appeal at all of any kind. I thought I would just power through. But like you said, I have a chill vibe, and that's probably my appeal. I don't talk fast, I don't talk in an entertaining way. So I will just talk slowly. I will talk the way I know how to. How
It
would I?
almost feels like you're. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, go ahead.
But if it, listen, I didn't mean that in a negative way. Like it sounds like I said that you didn't have any I did not. Okay, listen, I didn't mean it like that. I was saying that like your content was very chilling and relaxing to be
Mm-hmm.
in. You know, you can still have qualities. You know, like you've only started streaming. You know what I mean? And you got to think about it too. Like not many people have gotten the chance to interact with you yet. So you know, over time, you're going to become more and more comfortable talking to people. Okay. Like, you're going to see people, you're going to see that, you know, and there's a lot of supportive people out there. Okay. I hope you have the luxury of meeting them someday because there's people out there that make you feel comfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They'll tell you, fuck it, do whatever you want. Those are people who are viewers, you know, people who you would expect would be more abrasive to the idea to you doing exactly what they want you to do. And those people sometimes are really nice. They're just like, hey, I'm here for the vibes. I'm here to chill. I'm here to relax. I'm here to be in a good environment with good people. And as you said yourself, that's important to you. So, you know, working on that is perfect. You know, like I said, I really didn't want you to take any insult to what I
No, I
said. It's
didn't.
just all right, all right. I just like I said, the way you said, because it's like okay, I'm not trying to say it like that, but it's also like you know, now you're saying you don't have any skills or something like you got skills, man. You know, like we just got to figure out what they are. That's it. You know, like we don't know all of your strengths yet either. You know,
Yeah.
like I know like one of your tags was meditation, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an appropriate tag to have because like I said, you had the background music. You're very soft spoken. You know, so it's very good. Um, like I said, it's not to take away from any of the qualities that you might actually have too. You know, you shouldn't think of it that way. It's just those are the ones that we know now. You can find more, you know.
Right.
Well, I mean, I interrupted you, so I don't know where you are. If you want me to ask the question again,
What was the question?
what do you feel your main appeal as a streamer is, and if you were able to add to that appeal, what would you choose to add?
Hmm. guess I would want to be a more articulate interviewer. I think doing interviews would really be good both for me and for the community. So if I could improve my skills on that, that would be great.
You'll get better at that. That is, it's impossible for you not to. Um, you'll be able to add your own experiences to the interview since you stream yourself, and you'll be able to ask questions, add your own thoughts, make sure that people don't leave. Like, for example, like, if you're interviewing someone and they feel a certain way, you can make sure that that person doesn't leave the interview feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's very important that you extend the same courtesies that you get from other people to other people, because it's like, I definitely understand that all people don't have a very solid stance on where they are, especially me. I don't feel like I'm solid anywhere, but I have certain strengths and I have certain things that appeal to me to learn, and those are my strengths. So, like I said, this, and you gotta understand, this interview is just a response to yours. It's nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that when you stream more, you'll have more questions like these. You'll be able to ask questions that interest you. Now they won't be exactly like mine because you have your own things that you're interested in. So you'll be able to ask more articulate questions. And then also, because of your experiences, you'll be able to ask questions that you can't find answers on yourself so that you can find some understanding on your own. You know what I mean? And I do think that a big issue with like interviewing things is that I don't think that there are too many interviewers that ask their own questions. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They seem to ask someone else's questions, or they're asked questions that are safe because, some people who are getting interviewed aren't really interested in telling the truth. So, some people want to get interviewed so they can get publicity, and that's it. They don't want to answer tough questions. They want to collab, get their interview published somewhere so that their channel name could be at the bottom. This is where you find this guy, blah, blah, blah. And that's it, you know? So, at the end of the day, you're probably still a better interviewer than half of the interviewers that exist. And I
Mm-hmm.
know it's a short bar to pass, but you made it. All right.
All right.
Okay. Why do you feel that these things are more important over others?
This is in relation to your previous question.
Yes.
Mm. I mean, you work with what you have, with what God has given you, with what has genetics and life has given you. So, if these are my strengths, if these are the areas where I can most easily improve, then I guess that's what I will do.
Hmm. No, that makes sense. I I don't even know what my main appeal is as a streamer, honestly. It's a shame to say something like that, but I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm even a clown. I don't have too many opportunities to be a clown, but you know, I guess I just play the game and I try to talk to people. I try to be a friend. And I actually, like, I could add to that, but you know how it is. A lot of things that you worry about adding, if you do care about adding things, is based on things that you don't understand yet. You know what I mean? So it's like I want to add things, but do people actually care about what I'm adding? You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because I've never really had people go, why don't you talk about this or why don't you talk about that? I haven't had people had an issue with what I was already giving them. You know what I mean? And that's a shame. You know what I mean? So it's like the best thing I could do is make sure that I don't fuck up my audio quality again, even though it's impossible for me to do that because you saw that
Yeah.
I started the stream and half the goddamn interview the mic didn't work. So like I'm doomed. But other than that, like I haven't had anybody really request me do anything. You know, like, and that's why I was telling you about the sounds and stuff, where it was just like have the sounds. I don't have too many green screens. I had one person ask me to make green screens. I haven't seen them in almost a month. Um, but you know what I mean? It's just kind of like I'm almost in limbo, and the main ordeal that I have is discovery and activity.
Hmm.
Is there anything you avoid doing as a streamer because it isn't your strength or it will attract the wrong crowd?
Well, I don't turn on my camera because I think that would detract from the stream. I don't have a very appealing appearance, I guess. I need to work on that. But yeah, I guess otherwise I would be using a camera.
Is that the only thing you avoid doing?
Well, I avoid trying being things that I'm not. Like my father has told me about my YouTube video that no, son, that's not how you talk on a video. You should be like active and energetic and happy and cheerful, etc.
Oh,
I avoid doing that because that is just not me.
yeah, that's true. I see now. I wouldn't have tried to make you be, but I understand. I know that I am kind of bad at uh, pretending. Okay, I'm a bad liar. I hate lying. Um, so being what your father said would not be possible for me either. Um, I I like certain things, but the thing for me is that most of my energy is genuine. You know what I mean? Like when some stupid thing happens and you can hear the shrill change in my voice, you can hear the rise out of my attitude, or something crazy happens, or when something fucked up happens and someone asks what happens and I just go, yeah, because I'm fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like that
Mm,
that's natural. You know what I mean? And I mean, like some people they think that I'm putting myself down. It's just like, no, I'm just being completely honest with the idea that these mistakes are normal for me. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So, because like I'm a very jump the gun kind of person. So when I think of something, I'm already doing it, and at the end of the day, that mm, that amounts to some of the worst mistakes. The worst mistakes, dude. I can't explain, but yeah. If you could do these things without attracting the wrong people, would you?
No, probably not.
Yeah, same, same. How do you feel about revisiting old content?
I'm torn on the subject. I mean, even before I started streaming Civ 2, I thought about streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance, a game that I already spent 500 hours playing, which for me is a lot. And I really enjoyed playing that game, and I played it in a unique way. I did a lot of things that other players didn't, so I thought maybe that would be somewhat appealing to view for viewers to see. But I don't know. I've already done that, so I'm not sure if I want to do it again. I'm not sure if I will enjoy it as much. I mean, it would be a thought at the back of my head that I'm doing this for the views, for
Hmm.
the appeal to other people, not for my own enjoyment. So I don't know. I'm torn.
I agree with how you feel. Um, but I know for me, now, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna preface this. That question was when I wrote it down. That question was really geared at um making content on something you've already made content on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for example, me asking you to do the survey all over again because I'm fucking dumb and turn my mic off. I don't want to do that. But you know, it it's more like for example, I played Monster Hunter World, right? I took 14 hours. YouTube hates it, so now I have to do it again. I played Monster Hunter yesterday, beat it in 10 hours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. And I know for me, like there's times where, like for example, I played God Eater 3, right? And my microphone was absolutely fucking the worst in terms of peaking. Am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna play it again? I might actually play it again because when my mic when I left because my mic was messed up and I couldn't take it anymore, I forgot to upload a part of the God Eater 3 video, so it's incomplete. And I usually make playlists of games that I complete on YouTube so that people can watch them again, but I can't do it like that. Um, but yeah, that would be a reason why I revisit that. But yeah, um, why does it bother you, or why doesn't it bother you? And you said that what you call it? You said that you wouldn't be doing it for you, and you'd be doing it for the viewers, and you're torn about that, right?
Yeah. Why would it bother me? I mean, repetition, you're kind of plagiarizing your own content. And if you're doing it again, maybe some of your old and loyal viewers have already seen it. So why would they want to see it again?
That's very true. Oh, that is very true. Um,
On
I think. Oh no, go ahead. What happened?
on the other hand, I told you that I had a YouTube channel where I did quite successful Terraria videos, and my old Terraria fans they said that I should continue doing Terraria videos. Even 10 years later, they said I can revisit the game at any time. But for some reason, I don't want to do that. For me, that's like a chapter that is in the past, is finished. Hmm.
Yes, I understand that. Now, I will say something. I don't think that revisiting content is as bad as something like revisiting a conversation. For me, that's one of the things that I really hate. When you have an idea, you have an answer, and you have the conversation with somebody, and unfortunately, something happens, and now you answer it the second time, it's typically not as genuine as the first. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's another reason why I couldn't do the start interview again, because like it'll lose everything.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? There's it's just not good. You know, and I mean, listen, if you're good at remembering the answers and re-answering the questions the same way, then that's fantastic for you. I am terrible at that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because my brain says I already had this conversation. Why am I doing it again?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm short. You know, my responses are short. They lack emotion. They lack depth because now I'm already certain that you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So now I don't feel the need to elaborate at all. And now it's like it's boring. You know what I mean? That's
Hmm.
like damn it. You know. But yeah. What do you feel viewers prefer about streaming?
I guess entertainment value. Although lurkers, they may just want something to look at. Doesn't matter what. My own first ever experience with streaming was when I came back from Norway in my depressed state, and I simply went on YouTube, I think, and I watched. No, maybe it was even Twitch, not sure. And I watched somebody playing Subnautica, and I didn't chat with them. I didn't interact with them in any way. I didn't follow them. I just wanted to watch the video, and I wanted it in the background while I was doing other things. I think I may have even turned off the sound. So it really depends. Different viewers want different things. but I suppose most of them want to be entertained. They come back from work at the end of the day, they have some free hours they want to spend in a good qualitative way. So I guess it must be good video footage and good commentary.
It's true. Do you think this raises or lowers your chances of being discovered?
Well, I think it lowers my chances. I don't play the most popular games, I don't have the best commentary. Even now, when a viewer will pop into my game, I'm not talking about the game, I'm just chatting with a friend. So I don't know if that would be appealing to anyone.
Okay. There is a level of appeal, but I don't think it's for everyone. And I also think that the thing that's scary about that is that it's almost assumed that if you're talking to somebody, you're not going to read the chat. Um, Personally, and very bluntly, I think that all of our chances are lower at being discovered because we're not a baby old pair of tits in front of the camera. All right.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so like we all lose. All right, unless we get 4090 Ti's and we have AI girlfriends on our stream in the corner
Mm-hmm.
pretending to be chicks and we have voice changes and stuff, we lose. Um, if your channel was immediately beyond successful, what changes do you think you'd make, if any?
Sorry, could you repeat that? I kind of phased out.
If your channel was immediately beyond successful, what changes do you think you'd make, if any?
Oh, well, I guess I would have to improve my channel with like, stuff like descriptions, widgets, icons, and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Maybe moderators, bots. I mean, stuff that successful channels have. I'm not sure what they are, I haven't looked into it. But
Hmm.
I would definitely consider it to be my responsibility to improve in ways that viewers want and expect.
Sure. Yeah. I think that if I was beyond successful, I would definitely do the webcam. I put the webcam on because they're not here for that. You know what I mean? Like then that'll be awesome. And that'll be really cool. So it's like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for supporting me. Here's a bonus that you guys don't even care about, but here it is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're all here. You know what I mean? And like I said, that'll be really cool. Um, I mean, I'm probably gonna attract idiots anyway after that. But then everybody's gonna be like, yo, this is why he didn't have camera the whole time, bonehead. Don't do it. And now it's like cool, you know what I mean? Now like and you know how it is. If you're super popular already, you're gonna have people who will defend how you feel. So you won't even have to do anything. It'll be autopilot. Um, is profitability related to your channel's success at all? Why or why not?
Well, when I first conceived of the idea of streaming and I was considering all the pros and cons, all the options, I thought that if I can maybe in my first year of streaming make it to a point where I am making like $100 a month from it, I would consider it as a success. So I thought maybe money has to do something with it, with feeling successful, with feeling whether or not it is working. But now I don't know. I think that I would be satisfied with just having 10 viewers consecutively. I think that would be enough to make me happy. Money is transitory. I don't know how to explain it. Money is relative.
Hmm. I For me, I kind of equate money to gestures. Okay, I don't. It's not required. It's not demanded. It's not even inquired for at the time. It's mostly for gestures, and the only time I really care about that being a factor is when I would be beyond successful, where it's like 900 people just said something. I couldn't see what you said. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
giving me $2 just so I can see what you said, it's I wouldn't consider it a form of success, but it's also like someone cared enough for me to see what they said that they had to spend money. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's even more important for me to get to what they said. And that's coming from somebody who wants to have multitudes of platforms for them to communicate on to me on. So it's like not only did this person spend money to reply to me, but they could have just waited until the stream was over and they could have talked to me on Discord. They could have talked to me on Twitter. They could have
Mm-hmm.
talked to me on Reddit. You know what I mean? So it's like, how much more important is that now? You know? So like I said, a lot of money would be more of a gesture of, success where it's like, damn, I did good
Mm.
enough. Oh, go ahead.
No, I like what you're saying.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
good point.
like I don't know. Cause like yeah, think about it too. Like that's why I don't really have a donation tab or a donation link,
Mm-hmm.
because the link on my donation page is literally just like it's like a $2 subscription a month thing to another server, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't join that platform. So it's like I don't know because you see sometimes people too. Sometimes people they are they're really um kind of enamored with the person that they watch stream. So like it's very easy to take advantage of people, and that's scary. You know what I mean? Like imagine that you see somebody, he's new in the chat. Oh my God, you're playing my favorite game. You're my favorite person right now, and blah blah blah. Now it's like they look around and they want to see what they can do for you to
Mm-hmm.
make you understand that you are their favorite person right now, and they might throw money at you, money that they might not even have. You know what I mean? That
Right.
scares the hell out of me. You know what I mean? Like imagine someone who can't afford to give you money giving you money. Jesus, you know what I mean? And now it's like, oh my God. So I don't want that. It terrifies me. How do you feel about donations and monetary contributions to your channel, whether you can get them now or not as a whole? I
Well,
guess I guess I should have read that question first.
no, that's fine. I mean, I'm a realist, so I know that I won't be seeing any donations anytime soon. But well, I've set up a Patreon just in case, just to have
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah, but no, realistically, I don't think there will be donations anytime soon, so I shouldn't be even giving it any thought.
I agree. Like I said, someone subscribed yesterday. I told them they didn't need to. When people give me bits, I tell them they don't need to, because they
Mm-hmm.
don't need to. Um, but again, like I said, that's kind of why I relate them to gestures because a lot of people probably already know they don't need to, and I always try to make sure that people know that that's not something they need to do, but
Mm-hmm.
they want to make that gesture, so that's what makes it cool. I was gonna. The next question is, are there any additional reasons why you feel that way? But I'm pretty sure we tackled everything in there.
Yeah,
Do you feel people miss out on meaningful friendships because streamers give the appeal of being a friend while most do not actually want to be your friend?
I guess it comes with the territory. People want to be successful more than anything. They will sacrifice other things, other more wholesome and decent things. So yeah, that's just a reality that we have to accept.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's weird because it's like it's such a fumble in my opinion because personally, I would love to meet more people who enjoy the same things that I enjoy doing. You know what I mean? So like when I see people who are like personalities and stuff just squander the opportunity to meet people who are literally into the same things that you're into, it's almost insulting to me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's insulting to those people too because I would assume that it would be fair where it's like, bro, We like the same things. We enjoy the same games. We play the same stuff. We enjoy talking about the same things. Why is that not an interesting prospect to you as a human being? And then it makes you wonder if the person is streaming for something else rather than streaming because they actually enjoy what they're doing. And that's a scary thing to get into. Do you think you are or will become a streamer like this?
No, never.
Never.
Although,
Same.
never say never. I mean, I don't think so. I really doubt that I will become anything like that. I mean, my entire life I have this track record of being a person who's generous with his time and resources, people generous to other people, to my friends, to family,
Mm.
even to strangers. So I don't know. It's just, I guess, a personality type. It's in my nature.
I personally think that if I ever come close to that, it won't be for the same reasons as other people, and it'll be something that needs to be that needs to be addressed in the form of me trying to explain to people that I'm one person and I literally can't play with everybody at the same time. You know what I mean? Where it's like I am totally down with playing video games with everybody that I can, but most games are four player. Nowadays some games are three player because they do this fire team thing, and it'd be terrible to be the fourth man in situations like that. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who really feel slighted when you don't play with them. You know what I mean? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like I would need them to understand first and foremost that I am more than happy to be their friend and hang out with them, but I'm one person. You know what I mean? And that's why it's within my best interest to create a community so that even if I can't do it, there are many people, in my guard that will be able to do the same thing, in my steed, so to speak. Is it important to let people know? I need to read the next question before oh my God, I literally, an idiot made this interview. Sorry. Is it important to let people know where you stand on a topic like this?
Hmm. It, yeah, I guess it also depends on what type of person you are. For some people, it doesn't matter, but for me, I think it would matter.
Yeah, it matters to me a lot. And like I said, I need to actually look at the next question before I go to the thing. Because, wow. Um, have you ever been in a position where you thought a streamer was your friend, but in fact only valued you as a viewer or a contributor?
No, not really. But this is only because I don't have much experience with the community of streaming in general. I think with time I will have those experiences.
Hmm. Yeah, but definitely been in that position. Um, and the next question was, if so, how has that impacted how you treat other viewers? You don't have to worry about that. Have you ever been on the other side of that question, where you had someone seek friendship from you, but and did not see them as a friend?
Mm. Well, I mean, there are several stories to that question. One is that on Instagram, people reach out to me all the time. Some of them want something from me, but I guess yes, there is one person on Instagram who is reaching out to me regularly. He's calling me friend. He's sending me big hugs, and I sort of reciprocate it, at least in words, but in reality, I'm not sure I feel the same way.
Hmm. Yeah, that
And
sounds that sounds like a scary situation.
yeah, and also on my Discord, the one I told about, the small content creators support group, there was that
Mm-hmm.
one person that was just odd. And he keeps reaching out to me still to this day, asking me how I am, how's my art, how's everything. And he is odd. He's even telling me that I'm reaching out just because, I don't know, it's the right thing to do or something like that. And I just don't respond to him. So,
It's best to stay safe, and it's unfortunate that situations like that have to happen. Um, do you think it is important as a streamer, influencer, personality, or whatever have you to help facilitate healthy social interaction between members of your community?
yes, definitely. I think people should be responsible for their communities. People should take charge, set a good example, set good rules. Otherwise, if they let their community run loose, it won't lead to anything good. All sorts of bad actors will appear and destroy your community from within.
Hmm. Absolutely. You already answered the next question. Is there a reason why you feel this way? See, I don't know. I guess I made the interview questions kind of like short answer proof. So if someone gave a short answer, I can make sure I can get a better
Mm-hmm.
one.
That's
That's why the
fine.
follow-up questions are always like that. What do you think viewers in general care about more? Poor gameplay or poor community response? Like reading the chat.
For gameplay or for community response. Hmm. I think they would care more about you responding to them in the chat. At least that has been my experience so far. Some people, well, I mean, as a new time streamer, I am not used to checking my chat often.
Yes.
So some people have said to me like, check your chat more often, or like, oh, you're not reading your chat.
Guilty as charged. Oh yeah. Um, I know for me, I've seen, like speedrunners and stuff, and for them, the answer is the former. Poor gameplay will probably make people leave their chats.
Mm-hmm.
But for people like us, absolutely poor community response. When I begun streaming, it was almost important to me to make sure that when people sent a message, a small sound bite would play.
Mm-hmm.
So I would look down as soon as that sound would play, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have the Pokemon bot in the channel anymore, because there were so many times where I would look down and try to see what was said, and it's just the Pokemon bot, and it's very disappointing
Mm-hmm.
when you hear the sound of someone saying something in your channel and it's not a person, it's a bot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why I had to get rid of it. What do you think it will take to have users actively make clips on your channel? What do you think people care about enough to clip as a whole?
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, my own content is kind of, well, it's not for everyone. I mean, the game you play is dynamic, it's entertaining. The game I play is kind of stale, maybe. I mean, I have already conquered everyone there is to conquer in the world. I have kicked out all the barbarians. So now I'm just building stuff. So I suppose if anybody would clip somebody from my content, it's the finished product. When my project is complete, when I have basically built something like a city or an improvement on every single tile of the world map, then it will be worth looking at, but even only for a short while. But if I stream other games, maybe there will be some other better content to clip.
That's a fair answer. Um, for me, the multitude of clips that I see that usually go viral are based on the person. So,
Mm,
webcam stuff, reactions, a content creator, slouching in their chair after they died, or,
mm-hmm,
content creator spiking their controller into the ground after losing a speed run,
mm-hmm,
same person throwing their chair when something goes wrong, you know what I mean? Where it's like, it's unfortunate that it's not really encompassed of the gameplay itself and more of the reaction of the streamer, you know. That's what scares me. I think that because like I said, I've been streaming for a while and I stream a lot of games. And sometimes I'll have people in here every now and again, but like I can count on one hand the amount of times people have actually made a clip on purpose, to actually have a clip, and a lot of it was for out of context clips. You know
mm-hmm,
what I mean? Because there was one person that clipped me the other day because I said I like touching things out of context, and then he just,
mm-hmm,
like I said, he clipped it, and it's like, okay, whatever. And then, there were a couple accidental ones, and then there was one way back when I was talking about the way that Twitch handles the community, and what I don't understand about some chatters who would rather have chat in a channel that has so many people that they'll never get seen. But it is what it is. Um, if you could give up streaming to live a successful life, would you do it?
yeah, I guess I'm not that attached to it yet.
It makes sense. I I don't know. You know what I mean? Like my problem is I don't meet the type of people I want to meet anymore. You know what
Mm-hmm,
I mean? Like I meet people interested in physical things. For the most part, the people who I do meet that are into things that I'm into, they're console players. They play PlayStation. They play Nintendo. They don't play PC.
mm-hmm,
And then the PC players that I meet, they play StarCraft and Team Fortress 2 and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? There's a very large disconnect, and it almost feels like the type of games that I like, people don't like. But when I'm online, a lot of people like these games, and it's like, yo, where are you? Where are you people at, bro? Like, it's crazy, but it is what it is.
mm-hmm.
What would the parameters for this form of success be?
That's a really good question. Because, like I said, I'm at a point in my life where I'm like having a midlife crisis, so I'm really not sure about where I'm going or why. So, what kind of parameters would success have? Like, I guess first I'd have to fix my depression and feel taste for life again. And then I would have to focus on things like my family, my nephew, maybe create my own family, like start a family, have a child. I don't know if I'd be interested in financial success. I mean, I'd like to live comfortably, I suppose. But being a millionaire, no, that I don't care about.
Hmm.
So I guess I would just focus on family and friends.
That makes sense. Now this isn't a question. It's not an official question, but I do feel like a lot of things that we do as people are for the people we care about. And if we don't have enough people in our life that we care about, some of the things that a lot of generic, a lot of generic concerns remain unaddressed because of the fact that we don't have a reason to do those things. So, for example, like I would assume that if you had a family, that you would probably care more for money by extension in order for your family
Right,
to be more comfortable.
of
You know what I
course.
mean? So, like, I'm just agreeing with you that it's going to be really complicated to answer a question like that because There are a lot of things in life that we do want that we don't have, and in response to the things that we do want in life, when we get them, will be an entirely different set of needs that we might not be familiar with. Would you advise other people to begin streaming? Why or why not?
Probably not. I guess because well, most people probably have this like a romantic idea, romantic notion about streaming. Like they see a successful streamer, somebody they know and follow, and they think, oh, that's easy, I can do that. But no, the reality is very different. The reality is that I would say, well, my own estimate, based on nothing, of course, is that 99% of the streamers who try to make a career out of it, they fail for various reasons. So I would caution people against it. I mean, if that's what you're really passionate about, if you're really passionate about games and you want to share your experience with the world and you think you have something to share, then at least try doing it. Who knows, maybe you'll be successful. But
Hmm.
don't be afraid to just call it quits at some point.
Very good answer. Um, I I have a slight disagreement,
Okay.
but that is because of the fact that I'm probably uh, too curious, and I worry a lot about stuff. And for me, the difference in having evidence to a question is like life or death to me.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to have footage of things that I enjoy doing is something that I've done since childhood. You know what I mean? I've had the issue of like keeping old like essays and reports as a child to
Mm-hmm.
like kind of make sure that people in my life understand that I felt this way longer than healthy. You know what I mean? So the idea that I have like footage of the things that I love and care about, like video games and sometimes even conversations like this, makes it adds value to me because I lived a lot of my life being doubted. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? A lot of people, they hear some stuff that I say and they're like, bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's like that. And it's like, now I have, videos and footage from months, years ago to be able to show these people so that it's like, yeah, no. You know what I mean? Check your expectations at the door, you know what I mean? I'm a little bit different than you think. But you know, I guess that if we lived in a world where people would trust each other a little more, I wouldn't feel the necessity to do anything like that. But I've kind of given up on the idea that people would actually give you the benefit of doubt of believing what you're saying without having evidence the first few times. You know what I mean? Because I've actually met people where they kind of challenge what you say all the time, and then they kind of get tired of you pulling stuff up where it's like, I definitely said that, I
Mm-hmm.
definitely said that, I definitely did that. And that's another reason why I do think that Discord's a really good platform to have your social interactions on, because Discord's index system is absolutely fantastic. Okay, if you ever say something on Discord and you remember what you said, or even remotely what you said, even years past, you can type up what you said on Discord and it will index it, and you'll be able to find what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So, if somebody ever said that you're this and you're that, or they never said this or that, simply type it into Discord and search it in. Or you can type in from user, type in a username of the person you want to look up, and then type in what you think they said, type it in, find it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it sounds terrible because, like I said, that's what's important to me. I like to have proof of the things that I do, and if anybody is like that, I do think that they should be streaming. Um, but also to answer the question, to make sure that they don't regret not doing it. You know what I mean? If you do it, you can do it. And some people have started streaming and they didn't have anything. I'm kind of the person where I want to be somewhat prepared when I start streaming. So I want a decent mic, I want a decent computer, I want a decent setup, I want everything to be there already. But for the sake of not seeming like a beggar or not seeming like I'm just coming up here with scraps. I wanted to make sure that I had enough of a enough reputability in terms of like hardware to make sure that people could understand that I was serious about what I wanted to do.
Mm,
And I mean, don't get me wrong, like I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that don't think like that, but I guess at the end of the day, I have to protect myself from myself, you know?
mm-hmm.
So I have to satisfy my own insecurities in order to reach out to more people. If you have more chat than you could hope to respond to, how would you handle responding to it?
I guess I would get moderators who know me as a person, who know what I think and what I mean and what I stand for, and I would have them respond. Like the very first streamer I reached out to and asked them if they wanted an interview, somebody else responded in their chat. It was a response that, dude, they barely speak any English. But still, it was a response, and that was helpful. So I would have something like that too. People in my community being the ones to respond.
That's good. That's a good answer. It's actually a better answer than I can think of. One thing that I have is not even a response for myself, but what I noticed a streamer I used to know do is that he would read random responses. Like, he'd have the chat window up and he'd choose one to read randomly so that he could buy more time because, some people will think that, oh, this person's not reading my
Mm-hmm,
chat.
mm-hmm,
I'm out of here. But if he read it randomly, it would kind of be assumed that he'll get to yours. You know what I mean? So people stayed in the chat longer because
mm-hmm.
they would anticipate him reading their response. So I don't know how much that's worth to you, but it might be helpful if you ever have a situation like that.
Yeah.
Um, has streaming negatively impacted your life in any way?
I mean, not that I would think. Not yet, I guess. For now, it's all positive. It has given me something to do. It has given me new purpose. It has given me discipline, like having to get up every morning and having something to do. It's like a job, I suppose, an obligation. Though I don't feel about streaming as an obligation. To me, it's just a hobby. For now, it's a fun hobby. But no, so far the experience has been positive.
Okay. Have you ever dealt with moderation making your viewer experience poorer? What are some things you've done to eliminate that?
Well, moderation, do you mean like my own mods or like auto moderation?
Um, well, all in terms of like being able to share an experience that people can take away from, you know.
No, not really. I mean, in my streaming hobby, I have zero experience with moderation because I have no mods, I have no bots, I have
Mhm.
nothing to moderate so far. But in my other community, the one that I had on Discord, the small content creator support, I had a few moderators, and having them was helpful only.
Okay,
So,
okay,
no negative experiences so far.
all right. I think for me, there's a lot of it's very sensitive. Do you know what I mean? Because in my experience, some of the busier servers are filled with moderators that don't actually watch the chat and they're more of police.
Mm,
And, for me, some of the best moderators are people who actually are there and they read the room.
mm-hmm,
Because, there are some people who seem like they're antagonistic to people in the chat and all that stuff. And the truth be told is that they're always like that. So it's just kind of like when somebody says that those people are being abrasive and they're being disrespectful and stuff, it's not a change of character. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to being able to explain to them that that's just who they are is very valuable to do for people because, like the server might actually be full of one note types of people if, moderators are basically just overseers. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I know for me, a lot of larger communities are full of moderators that do that. And despite the fact that, like I said, Discord has a very fantastic index system, they don't look up the user that they're investigating to see their mannerisms at all. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like now there's almost no like social profile in the person that you're in charge of keeping care of, and you make bad judgments. Um, I typically don't do that, but that's also why you saw that I was a lot more decisive in the way that I handled my server in the past because I knew the way that these people typically behave, and they weren't behaving that way towards me for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could kind of sense the change in character, and you can sense the disrespect that was targeted towards certain types of people. Um, but it is what it is. How do you feel about ultimately being in a position of authority as a streamer? Does this responsibility bother you?
I guess, yes, I don't feel comfortable having authority. Not just as a streamer, but in general. I am a type of person who is kind of soft and indecisive, so when there's a situation that would require me to take action, even when it would be my responsibility, my job to take action, I would be kind of unsure of what to do, unsure of whether I should do anything. So I would rather delegate it. I would even pay somebody to do that for me. If I have a community large enough that there has
Hmm.
to be some sort of decisive action taker, I would even pay for that out of my own pocket.
That makes sense. I don't know. It's very it's daunting because it's like it's very scary to be the only one in a room with a gun.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And a lot of times when you make the final decision, it's almost like the things that you can do to other people outweigh what they can do to you. You know what I mean? And it's very hard because it's like depending on how good or how bad your community is, and the reason why you decided to make the choice you made might be the way that the person takes it. Like for example, my issue with being banned from Reddit. You know what I mean? It was a very unfair experience, and it made me think very differently about how I perceive the website because the way that I was treated was unjust. You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? And usually, well, I knew for me, usually I would relate um, my overall experience with something to my worst experience because is the worst experience something I feel like tolerating multiple times. And overall, that's what scares me about moderation because, like, if I treat someone poorly, the people around them might expect to be treated that way too.
mm-hmm,
And that's why, earlier in the interview, I always try to explain that kind of clarifying why you do the things that you do is very important to me because it's kind of like making sure that it's like, hey, look at this stupid gun that I have. The only way I'd shoot you is if you did something terrible. You know what I mean? So it's like, never do this, and this gun is never going to get used. You know what I mean? But it's not something that I have to visit very often because usually it's almost like someone asking to have that happen. You know what I mean? And like I said, most of it is sourced from disrespect, and I don't really have anyone around me anymore that I've known for a long time. So it's really not something that comes to that. And the few times where I do feel like people will choose the wrong words in the wrong situations and stuff to react to, they kind of sort themselves out eventually. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, if you like if you had someone negative in your chat and you told them that blatantly being negative is going to affect the community in some way, and you actually were able to sit them down and clear up the whole situation, and they decided not to come around anymore, you could kind of surmise that it's like, okay, this person clearly couldn't behave themselves, so now they're not here anymore. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
What subjects as a streamer do you feel are difficult or impossible for you to consider delving into?
Mm.
I know earlier you was talking about politics and stuff like that, so I mean, that's probably a repeated question since I rushed this because I had trouble sleeping, but it is what it is. All right, I'll skip to the next relevant question. If you were uncancelable, are there things that you would say to people that you feel would otherwise land you in trouble?
No, no, I wouldn't want to offend anyone. What about you?
I usually only if the conversation is relevant is when I bring that up. I I really don't mind having conversations like that. So like, I don't really have a uncancelable state, in my opinion, because a lot of my less liked opinions are based on kind of deflecting people's like sense of identity to a personal like need to take care of people as humans first. You know what I mean? Because I've been in situations where I've seen that people get better care by identifying as certain things rather than just getting the care that they need. You know what I mean? And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like there are times where because people see that, oh, I have to be this or that for people to care about me, that they feel more compelled to fall into that category because that category of people gets treated better. And I feel like people should be treated human. You know what I mean? So like I said, I've had discussions like that before. So like I guess that's not even cancelable, but it's just something that's important to me because it feels like people are gatekeeping kindness and respect, and it makes no sense to me at all. Where do you see yourself as a streamer in a few years?
Well, I guess let's combine that question with where would I feel comfortable being as a streamer in a few years? And that would be having like, well, anywhere from 10 to 100 consecutive viewers. Though I suppose that is kind of ambitious. Seeing many other streamers, even those who have been streaming for 5 years and still don't have like even 10 subsequent viewers. But like I said, I plan to reach out, I plan to collaborate, I plan to do interviews, so maybe for me that is realistic. I'm giving myself an advantage.
I mean, well, a lot of the what is it? A lot of the climate on Twitch is making goals and immediately setting new ones after you reach them. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of normal for Twitch. I don't know where I'll see myself in a few years. Honestly, the problem for me is that I feel like I'm already fighting with the best that I can do. You know what I mean? Already got 1080p 60. I'm already on more platforms than I need to be. I've got screens for reading chats as soon as they happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, gameplay is as good as it's ever going to be. Quality is the only way I can increase the quality is by buying a fucking computer that costs too damn much money. Um, so, like I said, I'm already kind of dancing with the end in terms of how many things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I think will come after that will be either me playing games that I really don't want to play
Mm.
or getting lucky enough to be in situations where people actually want to listen to what I have to say. So, I'm at a battle with the words luck or fuck. You know what I mean? Are there any questions? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I think you're an interesting conversationalist, an interesting person to listen to. Well, especially not when you're talking about the game you're currently playing, but when you're having a conversation about something meaningful. So I think you just need to find your audience.
I'm pretty sure we can all say that about 100% of Twitch. We all need to find our damn audience, all right? Like I said, I'll have better luck if I wear some tits, all right? There you go. Easy mode. But are there any questions you felt that I should have asked you?
Well, it has been a 3 hour interview already, so I think you have asked plenty. This is not even an interview, this is more like a podcast where you invite a guest and you have a conversation with them, where it's not just question, answer, but you also give your own opinion, give your own answers. So I think you have been a very good podcast host.
Listen, all right. Remember, you better be lucky I didn't have time to make 300 questions, all right? Because we would have been here for 12 hours. And I'm happy that I decided not to play the fucking game while I was doing that. Because do you know how much I would have had to fumble for my phone after? Oh my god. And I don't think I would have been able to give you straight answers either, because I would have had like fucking dinosaur foot in my face while I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to do stuff. So I mean, that's cool. It's sad because the worst part about the whole thing is that half the interview's cut off because I'm fucking dumb. But yeah, I'm happy that you didn't get offended by any of the questions. None of the questions bothered you. Um, I'm happy I got to answer some of them with you. I'm happy that I got to be relatively insightful on some of the situations that happened as well. Um, I enjoy talking to people. Like I try to tell everybody that, but it seems like it doesn't stick. And you know, I'll have to figure out how to pull the audio from your stream,
Yeah,
or
I'll
I
send
might
it to you.
okay, okay. I appreciate that because like I want people to see the interactions that we have